What is happening? It is a awesome Sunday evening here, and I spent the whole day getting some pretty nice notifications from Drivel and my sign up process. And just really quick, what's going on? My name's Adam. Sometimes I go by Frictionless. I run a suite of SaaS and apps that combined make somewhere around 45, 46,000 every month. And all of those apps are built entirely with shouldn't say entirely. I should say all of those apps are built at least somewhat with AI. I was a previous software developer, have run my own shop as well, and now I am doing this. I'm building some pretty incredible things. And the app that I'm the most interested in is one that I think people are really going to have a feeling about, and it's an app called Drivel. And I'm going to show you what the app looks like. But today is a marketing stream as opposed to a coding stream. So if you want to watch my coding streams, you can look at the VODs from before today. I think today we're on day, what is today? Today is day 23. So we're on day 23 right now of doing this. And since we started, we have a full app entirely launched. And I'm actually going to show you what the app looks like. In fact, you can go to it yourself by going to drivel.app. You'll see what we've built over here, and at drivel.app, you're going to just find our marketing page. This is what we've been working on here. And if you're not familiar with the app, of course, why would you be? Drivel is essentially if Reddit and Foursquare and Yelp kind of had a weird baby all together. It is I don't want to call it a social network. It is much more close to Reddit. Think of it like Reddit for places, except with a stylistic touch where every place is actually this Art Ghibli style, as you can see here. So as people create places, they take on this style, and then each place has a Reddit-like discussion forum inside of it that I'll show you. This is the Reddit style kind of discussion forum where you're able to kind of post anything, and then every little place, no matter how small, how big, how important, how insignificant, every little place has its own kind of, think of it as a subreddit. I'm very excited about the platform. This marketing sprint has been entirely about really tracking down what it is that people want. And I'm going to show you some of the tools that I'm using for this marketing sprint. And first, I'm actually going to start out with... we're going to look at ads. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh my Meta Ad Manager. All of our traffic right now is coming from Meta, at least for right now. And one of the major things that we were trying to find out from yesterday is if some of the statistical pieces would hold true. And that was that 18 to 24 was driving the majority of our signups. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to say... let's just say the last 3 days. And the reason why I say the last 3 days, I know that's a little bit weird. The last 4 days, sorry, is because those are the only days that we actually had our conversions turned on, okay? And so our conversions, this kind of cost per result, that result is a registration on the site, meaning not a sign up, but it's just somebody joining the wait list. So right now, all you can do is you can join the wait list. So let's take a look. We have 2 ad sets. Weirdly, our second ad set is getting no traffic whatsoever. Facebook is just not feeding it any traffic. I have to debug that. I have to understand why. I mean, because it is getting impressions, but I think Facebook or Meta is just pushing everything to the other ad set. Even though they're both highest volume conversions, they're the same, pretty much everything. We could see, if we were looking at just strictly landing page views, it is serving a hell of a lot more views, but the problem is it doesn't really matter, right? Who cares about the views? It's all about the Benjamins now. It's all about the signups. And so one of the statistical pieces here that I love to see is that this is our age. So this is, sorry, let me explain that. This is our age distribution for the ad. What this tells us is 25 to 34 is not only where we're getting the majority of completions, but it's also the lowest cost per completion. And our second lowest cost per completion is 35 to 44. Now, the nice thing about this is exactly who I wanted to target. So 25 to 34 with some drop off at 45. I don't really care between that. So 25 to 34 has given us the majority of our conversions, okay? Now, across the last 4 days, 23, 24, 25, 26, across the last 4 days, we're paying $7.39 per registration. That's pretty high. But right now, all we're doing is getting marketing data. We're just trying to figure out what it is that resonates with people. And I'm going to show you something that I did to kind of determine that. And what it is it's a survey. And we're just going to say, so I'm going to show you what the survey is. So as I was explaining before, we've already kind of created the app. But one of the major pieces that I wanted to make sure of is that we're creating the right app and that our ad images are contiguous with what a person is expecting. Because I've launched dozens of campaigns on Meta and just connected them right to an app. And then only to find out later that nobody gives a shit or the ads just didn't match what people wanted. So you have a bunch of people, I always call it like the vegans are, we're selling hamburgers to vegans, right? Could be great hamburgers, and the vegan audience could be amazing, but it's not a contiguous audience. It's not an audience that wants that product. And so the only way to resolve this is to make sure that we're connecting the freaking dots from one to the other. So anyway, as soon as somebody hits the wait list, and again, the wait list looks like this. So I'm going to show you the page, all right? So on the page, we kind of have this wait list, and then we kind of tell them, hey, this is what things look like before, after, before, after, before, after. Okay. And then, so it is a very strong statistical signal. That's tough to say. If somebody says join the wait list, because we're even using the terminology wait list, join wait list. We're not giving them a call to action that feels instantaneous. Okay. So we know that these people have a higher intent than the average bear. And I want to channel that intent. My goal is to get 250 just absolute rabid people who want to be let in this thing and who are going to share it from day freaking one. That's what I want to do. So as part of that, if we take a look at our survey that I was getting to, what's the first question we ask on our survey? Literally, what did you think you were signing up for? I know it sounds funny, but it's literally, what did you think you were signing up for? Conversation tied to specific places, interesting places nearby, photography app, local community, something else. Okay. So I'm going to show you what the next question is. So that's the first question we asked. Then yesterday, what we added was, what do you think of this artistic style? And we're trying to tell people that this is how a familiar place becomes magical. So we say, how unique does the style feel? And then how interesting does the style feel? Okay. And then finally, we say, which places do you know and love? And so they tick off places that they like. And then we say, if you claimed a place, how interested would you be in moderating that place? So that's one of the pieces of Drivel that I think is particularly interesting, is that any place that you claim kind of becomes your place and you have moderating capability to it. It doesn't matter if it's a place of business. We're going to give you the ability to at least moderate that place, okay? Which allows you to kind of just like being a mod on Reddit. You have the ability to moderate all of the threads there. And so if I submit those answers, I'm not going to right now because I don't want to log and throw off my experiments. I'm going to show you now another piece of software that we're using called PostHog. We're doing 4 things in PostHog that are important. First thing that we're doing is session replay. So today we're actually going to take a look at some sessions. We're going to look at what real people are doing on our marketing page. We're going to look to see if people are scrolling, if people are moving around. Like, what are they doing? Is this like high intent behavior, or is this just kind of like dicking around? I have been very happy to see that these are very real clicks. A lot of user interaction, email typing, all sorts of stuff. So I feel good about that. The second thing that we're using is experiments. So one of the experiments that we're running is we have 2 different versions of the site that we're running at the same time to try and determine which one performs the best. And then the third thing that we're using is just going to be general web analytics and person analysis, which I'll show you later. So let's start from here. Thursday, 38 unique people. Friday, 39 people. Saturday, 11. Today looks like it's estimating 45. Okay. Now, this is actually kind of interesting. This is a change. Okay. This is actually a change. So previously, Facebook was sending us the majority of our traffic. Now it looks like it's Instagram. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. And so let's go ahead and look. We have another channel. Sorry, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and take a look at an experiment that we set up day before yesterday. So the experiment was on this screen over here. Let me show you the screen. On this screen, we actually showed comments right under the place to just kind of simulate what would comments at a place look like. We actually had that, and I felt that it was a little bit too busy, maybe a little bit too busy for people. And so I wanted to do an experiment and track conversion of people who saw comments and did not see comments. Like, would they still get it? So if I go into this experiment that I've created in PostHog, we're going to see if we have any statistical significance yet. Man, this is so close. So we can, I don't know if you guys can see, let me make this a little bit bigger. So here, this is so funny to me, right? So comments, so whenever we show comments, we have a 10% chance of a conversion. And by the way, this is the conversion. So this shows 4 out of 40 people saw comments, converted. This is showing 5 out of 39 people, no comments, converted. Significant? Not yet. So we are neck and neck with the two of these, which might mean something interesting. It might mean that we're not losing anything by putting comments there. I've also found that people that are answering the survey are largely telling me that they believe that they are here for conversations tied to specific places. And I'm going to show you how we get to that. So let's explore another tool. We're going to explore another tool here. It is the persons or people tool. And so this is going to show all of the registrations that I have for the app. Now, just so that you guys know, I'm going to go ahead and trim this because this is me. Events and recordings. All right. Reload. Come on. That's interesting. It's still there. So anybody that you see that has an email address, that means that they, went ahead and ultimately converted and registered. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a filter, and the filter is going to be email address is set. So this is going to show us basically everybody who has registered. Now, you're probably wondering, why is there only 11 entries? I said entrees. I think I'm a little bit hungry. Why are there only 11 entries? Well, it's because we only put together the PostHog analysis yesterday. So yesterday was the first day that we were catching emails inside of PostHog. And so what I'm going to do is we have a couple other columns here for our surveys. Let me make sure. I got to remember what the property is called. Waitlist. There we go. So we have waitlist, art style, interest. Okay. Waitlist expectation. Waitlist, place moderator, interest, art style, interest, art style, place, art style, uniqueness, or whatever. Okay. So this is our statistics that we've got here. Let me go ahead and I'm going to trim off this ID really quick just because it's adding. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So expectation, social. So this is place-based chat. So 3 for place-based chat, and then a lot of discovering. Okay, a ton of discovery. And then place-based chat here. Also, another piece here is that the third screen on that survey, which is the one where we ask them if they'd be interested in moderating, that third screen was only added last night, so technically we're only going to get a couple of those entries. So moderator interest is what I'm looking at the most. So actually first, so our major differentiation that I have been excited about is the Art Ghibli style. And by the way, in case you wondered, I call it Art Ghibli because I literally only learned recently that it was maybe Art Ghibli, because I heard a video where somebody said Art Ghibli, and I'm like, shit, have I been saying it wrong this whole time? Possible, I'm an idiot, but whatever. It's an outstanding style. All the respect in the world to the people who created that. It is the coolest looking thing. It makes everything feel just super whimsical right off the bat. I love it. So if we take a look at the interest, so we got extreme, so this is artless style interest. That corresponds to this question. Interesting. Okay. That's all right. Use your imagination. So interest, extreme, very slightly, 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 extreme, very slightly. So we did have an option for not at all that people didn't pick. So that's okay. Uniqueness, very, somewhat, not at all, somewhat. So even the people that said not at all still said they thought the art style was interesting. So that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead and I actually do want to. I want to see. So for art style, so you got not at all. Yeah, so we didn't really get anybody that said not. We got a couple not at alls for the uniqueness. But even the not at alls, we still had moderator interest is high. Art style is still interesting. So we had nobody who thought it was an uninteresting art style. That's cool. Okay. Now, obviously, the thing I want to do the most is really add some more ads, but I need to figure out tonight why our ads are kind of only being served to one set. So moderator interest, somewhat, very, somewhat, slightly, extremely, slightly. I mean, that's across the board more than zero. Like, for sure, more than zero. That's kind of neat. That gives me some thought here. What is this one? Local social. I actually don't even know what that survey response is. What is that? Photography. General local community or social app. Okay, so only one person said it was a social app. I'm almost tempted to ask people, have you heard of Reddit? Like, maybe what we could ask them is like, do you know what this type of comment is? So anyway, I did want to place-based chat. I really want more data before I do anything. Somewhat varies, somewhat slightly. Okay, let's look at some session replay from today, and then we'll see if we can make heads or tails out of it. Again, amazing feature of Post Hog here. So we'll start here. This is me. So we'll just go to the next person. Cat Fancy. You know, what I love about this is you're watching people like truly think about things, discovering interesting places nearby. Okay. She's like, not sure. A local community or social app. That's neat. What do you think of this artistic style? I want to change the wording, I think. How does the style feel? Very, extremely. Which places do you know and love? Okay. If you claimed a place, how interested would you be in moderating it? Okay. All right. Let's take a look at somebody else. These are big sessions, by the way. All of these sessions are 1 to 2 minutes minimum. A couple 3-4 minute sessions. So I'm feeling like this is good interaction. What's interesting to me is some people are just, before they're even scrolling, they're literally adding their email address. That's so weird to me. I mean, does that mean that the ad is doing the heavy lifting? I don't know. So this one says conversations tied to local places. I love seeing the interaction, by the way. We might add an event to track that interaction, actually. Okay. Interesting. That's kind of neat when somebody clicks on somewhat and then they like change it to vary. That's kind of cool. Cafes, parks, arts and culture venues. Okay. Very. Okay. Another high intent. Okay, so this person's going to read before they. Nope, no, they're not. Just kidding. They're just going to go straight into it. Freaking bareback. Absolutely crazy. These people are nuts. I would never do this if it were me, but that's me. Discovering interesting places. Okay. Hmm. So that person bailed. They got tired of it. Okay. This is another person, man. They are like, I don't know if the wording is just doing the heavy lifting here, and we just don't need to prove anything else. But like, legitimately, people have looked at it and then just put their email address in. It is freaking not me. 100% reading this page, or this is really good bot behavior. So while we're watching this, I have a thesis here. And I told you before, I wanted to create 250 absolute rabid fans on Drivel. And I've been trying to decide if I should do this in one locale. And I know Facebook gives me a degree of control around this. I need to do some more, lifting here. I need to do some more looking to try and understand this. But what I want to find is if I can tie things to a particularly dense area. Let's say Washington, D.C. Okay. Very dense area. And then push all of my ads to DC. And then anybody who says that they want to be a moderator, immediately give them access to do it under the condition that they claim 5 places and then they begin posting with some sort of a cadence. Okay. Now, I don't know how we do that. I don't know how we do that right, but I feel really strongly that 200, 250 mark that's covered in a couple books, if we can make these people into true fans, where they are incentivized or they feel like they want to moderate stuff, then I think we can do that. Let's go. I'm going to hit pause really quick on this. I don't know why I'm not able to hit pause. There we go. I did want to take a look at my campaign here and see if I had some location. I know that I think there's a breakdown by location. I can't remember. Country. Oh my gosh, geez, I hope the country is all in the US. You know what? I actually haven't looked at country until just now. Oh no. What if this is all in like India, Canada, UK, whatever? I really want to do this just in the US right now. For no other reason than I think it's a little bit more controllable. What demographics? Age and gender, delivery, action, dynamic content, delivery, geography, creative, attribution. It's still running this creative. It's still running this breakdown. Okay. 100% in the US. Cool. Let me try one other thing. I would like to look at gender. This is what I thought. Okay. I was pretty sure this was the case, but almost 100% female. Which is great. I think it's phenomenal. Love the ladies. I think that this is right up their alley. I think this is something awesome for anybody, but I think it's totally awesome that we're skewing more than a little bit this direction. Realistically, I kind of created the ads to have a little bit of a cute feel. Now, whether or not that resonated with one particular gender or the other for any reason, I don't know. But I can tell you that it did. We have the data to say it. So that's cool. So we know it's all ladies. And then let's go back to age, because age and placement I wanted to see. So we can see Facebook feed and IG feed doing all the lifting. Here, IG feed is a hell of a lot more expensive. I mean, the comparison of Facebook feed to IG feed, man, and part of me wonders if that's because we're already in. They're already in IG. So it's almost like, is that the same person? Somebody in IG, you're not interacting. You're just scrolling, man. You're just doom scrolling. So yeah, 64%. So this is 64% of that. So that'd be a substantial jump. Now, we can also, I wanted to look at this is just results, but I wanted to look at our conversion ratio of just clicks too. So are more people clicking? Let's see, landing page views. I gotta toss this over here. You know what? I can't remember. Am I able to move columns? I don't think I can. Oh, look, I can. Amount spent, budget, cost per result, results, actions, reach, schedule, ends, attribution setting. Where is it? Cost per landing page view. You know what? We got a big enough monitor. We can look at it. So landing page views. So IG landing page. Where's our IG? IG feed, $38, $2. Okay. Facebook feed, 19 and $1.56. So IG is sending literally twice as many people there for roughly the same price. Not roughly the same price, but close enough. But Facebook is, from what I can gather, significantly more beneficial. So we're going to have to think about that for tomorrow, that we might just index only on Facebook. We have some data that shows us that IG is still converting, but like twice as expensive, almost twice as expensive. Facebook, it's like, am I getting the same people? Okay. This is actually very helpful stuff. So this is our target right now, 25 to 44. I think this is where we want to stay. The average, what's the average between those? Nice. So now what we need to figure out, I think, is if we can restrict a particular locale. And so this is something that I have been curious about. Can we... campaign details, campaign spending limit. Nope. Audience. So we're doing, where's our audience? Now, what part of me wants to do is I actually want to compete this audience against the other one. So what I could do is I could duplicate, not compete the audience, I'm sorry. I could duplicate this campaign and this ad set and then create another one that had a more well-defined set of controls instead of their AI sort of controls, and then just target what we know is working right now. You know what? I might do that. So let's take a come on, get out of here. Where's our audience? So this is our campaign. Okay. Campaign objective, leads, auction. Yep. Budget scheduling, categories. So I believe at least one ad set. So I think I can duplicate an ad set. Let me see. Add music. Forget out. What? No, dude. So this is me just not remembering how to do this in Facebook. Advantage on, I know there's somebody watching me here who like uses Meta all day, and I use Meta quite a bit, but when it comes to moving some of these campaign things around, it's been a long day. So is it on the ad set? Conversion location, data set, conversion events, CRM integration, customer result goal, dynamic creative, budget and schedule, audience. There we go. Okay. Audience, location. This is going to be interesting. So what if I did DC only? What if I did Portland only. You kind of get what I'm thinking. Right now, we have an audience of 280 million people, way too big, right? So what I want to do is I want to keep this ad set running. Don't do that. I'm going to keep this ad set running. Original campaign. I want to give it a new campaign. Let's just say hyper local. I have an idea. So we're going to say hyper local. Set up a test with your duplicated ad set. Number of copies. Okay. What? So Dribbleless Cozy hyperlocal. Okay, so let's go into hyperlocal. So we're going to bid the exact same amount. The difference though is we're going to create some controls. I want to see what locations I can use, and you're not going to let me. Come on. Where's my ChatGPT? ChatGPT. All right. In the US, where okay, on Facebook, where is the highest concentration of women between the ages of, what did we say our ages were? I think it was 18 to 44, or 25 to 44. To 44 in the US. So let's see if we can find some particularly dense, okay. I want to see if we can find some particularly dense areas, and then we're going to target those areas. Now, part of me had thought, well, what if I just target Northern Virginia? I mean, I do feel like Northern Virginia in its own could be. What if I just said Virginia? Virginia Beach, West Virginia, Virginia. Let's see. So our audience size just went from 18 to 21 million. You know, I mean, that's not the end of the world, man. If I just included Virginia, minimum age, 18. Now, it's interesting. So we can game the system just a little bit. So Facebook, I think, only allows you to do minimum age, not age range. And I don't know why that is. New York City, LA. You know, New York could be interesting. And then DC. So we're number 9. Could be kind of interesting. Here's what I was going to do. Let's find out where people are coming from right now. And then we're going to go in here. So 25 to 34. Sorry, 25 to 44. 25 to 44 is such a good range for me. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to make it to the 25. Yeah, look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so the minimum age becomes 25. Why are we going to do that? Because that's where we're already getting our people. Nope, not 25 to 65. We're going to do 25 to 45. Genders, women. I don't really want to do anything here. So we'll just say women in VA 25 to 45. So this is where the majority of my conversion happened anyway. So we're just going to double down on this audience size, which according to this is about 5 million people. So what would be really cool is if everybody, if these statistics kind of stayed true, which meant people kept growing at that $3 per, $4 per, and then they got concentrated in Northern Virginia. Because if I can concentrate people, then it's more likely that somebody runs into somebody else, and rather than having just, blips everywhere, I'd rather have all of that in one spot. So this is going to double my ad cost, so that means that we're going from $40 a day to $80 a day, which is not nothing, but I think it's definitely worth the, I think it's worth the cost. So these are our ad sets. Let's kill this for a second. So we've got drivel.app, and then we got drivel hyperlocal. Instead of hyperlocal, we're just going to say Virginia. Virginia, female. What do we say? 25 to 45. $40. Okay. Now, I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know if this becomes the new ad set, but I think it's worth trying. And we'll be able to let it run for a full 24 hours. We'll see what happens tomorrow, and then we can always compare it directly against what we already have. Okay, so that's all the ad work I wanted to get done. I'm going to take one more quick look at this just to see if I missed anything here, and then we're going to watch a couple more session replays to see if that's telling us anything. So it's interesting that all of our, like almost 100% of our conversion is coming from that audience, that like female 25 to 44. That means our ad is hitting and what we have on our page is hitting again. I did want to see something. Let me see. I want to go into Post Hog and I want to see if we can calculate scroll depth. Because one thing I've noticed is scroll depth before converting is really low. I am glad that everybody is from, at least from the US. I am glad that statistically everybody's 25 to 44 and everybody's women. Great. So let's stop showing stuff to people that don't hit that. Let me see. A few ways to determine scroll depth. Scroll depth is collected automatically as part of page leave events. And auto try. Make sure query the scroll depth properties. Heat maps visual. You can also, with scroll depth mode enabled by the... Okay, let's try that. So the thing is, if people don't need to scroll all the way down, we can thin up the screen so that we don't have to even show it. So let's just see. Show fixed, show scrolled. Is that what I want? So I have not, I've not used this before. So this is not, I don't really know if this is really giving me what I want. I mean, obviously this is where people are clicking, like, you know, duh. But it's not showing me. Okay. Let's do this. So we do know, let's go back to people. So we do know that we store max scroll per person. So what we're going to do is we're going to add that here. Really? Dude, you literally just said we show that. Initial, latest, last seen UTM. What? Properties to float, previous. So, okay, you can always scroll is captured when user leaves, so it appears on the next. Oh, so it's on an event. Okay. So maybe what I can do, can I look at the user event for this content viewed? Okay, so this is, I wonder if I can get, okay, so it's not going to give it to me on the person. Let's just see if I can find it in an event. So we're going to look at the event. What are we going to look at? So I want to look at everybody. Sorry, I know I'm just like talking to myself right now. This is probably pretty hard to put together. I want to create a query. Average scroll depth by page. Okay. All right, so we're going to see if we can find out the maximum depth that they scrolled before converting. Scroll data is recorded on the next page view events where patch name equals welcome. Contain exactly the scroll depth for the page. Okay, cool. Oh, this is awesome. So this is actually showing conversions to welcome. Here are the results over the last 90 days. 6 conversions recorded. That's not correct. It's not actually 6 conversions. Like, definitely not. We can look at any user that has an email address stored since they would have converted. Let's try that. See if that gives us anything a little bit better. Good thinking. I was looking at page view events where the previous page was blank. Filter for persons who have an email address set. Okay. I love names like Cat Fancy 41. Let's make sure our ad set is running. Your ad for your page is running. Cool. That's the idea. You know, while I'm in here, I want to look at, I wonder if DC is bigger. Like DC is, yeah, you know, now I'm thinking, man, maybe what we do, instead of Virginia, what if we do DC? I love DC because it is so dense, man. It is like dense. Advantage leads campaign. Yeah, okay, fine. Show more settings. Where is it? Campaign spending limit. No, budget. Where the fuck is my audience settings? There it is, audience. Data set, budget strategy, audience, women in Virginia, locations. Okay, so let's just edit this. Locations, edit. Washington, D.C. That's kind of weird that there's 2 different locations. Oh, that's interesting. You can do it down to a freaking neighborhood. I actually did not know that you could do that. Washington, D.C. Okay. I mean, is it the same one? 2 to 2.4. Okay. 25 to 45, minimum age 25. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to throw this out there. That what we found nationally might not hold true in a more dense urban area. We might find out that the 25 to 45 age range is not the correct age range. We might find that out. And it's going to be tough because it's multivariate. So we're not guaranteed to figure it out in any sort of easy way. So we're going to ignore that. And then we're going to jump back to our max scroll depth. Unique converted users. This is still not correct as far as converted users. Damn. Huh. So I can add, open as new insight. Okay. So let's jump in here. Let's look at a couple more of these and see if we can glean anything and how people are answering this. See if we can find anything interesting. I mean, this does look like a real page. You know, intent, real movement. See the up and down scroll. You know, all of this is indicative. I am tempted to throw a CAPTCHA on here just for my own like sanity, but I don't think we're going to right now. Okay. So, I mean, that's somebody who converted. Let's see who's next. 8 hours ago. Look at that scroll, though, man. And by look at that scroll, I mean there is no scroll. These people are coming in and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll sign. I'll jump into the wait list." What is our conversion rate right now from somebody hitting? What's our conversion rate right now from somebody hitting the page to somebody moving and entering their email address? It's pretty high. Let's look at our dashboard. I actually created one. My starter dashboard. So here is, where is our funnel? Let's take a look at this. Is this the correct funnel? Viewed a page, clicked something, page view. What? So this, I don't know why. We're going to actually change this. So converted, and this is also viewed a page. Can we do an event? We do have the event. Let's do this. Just fucking delete this. Add step. View to page. Page view. Which page view? Add filter. Welcome. Current URL contains welcome. Okay. View to page. And then current URL contains. So let's just say current URL contains. Sure. That's kind of useless. I don't think that's doing anything. 129. 129 to 138. That is actually weird. Okay. So this is our converted. How many people go on to sign up for the wait list? Sure. So view to page, page view, 82% drop off. So 17%, that's our conversion rate. And so, I mean, it's tempting to run an experiment here. And the experiment I would run is that if we change the verbiage for join the wait list, what if that wasn't the verbiage? What if it was give me access, go? I don't know. Now, I would argue that somebody who says join the wait list probably has a higher intent, right? I don't know. Let's see. So when I filter out test users, almost a 20% conversion rate. That's really high. That means that our ads are hitting, okay? So we could do some pretty interesting stuff. Mean time to convert, look at this, 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Let's look at what we could change to get people to convert faster. So for starters, everybody's on mobile. Like everybody is on mobile. I mean, part of me says we could change this up here, maybe. Claim a place, start talking. I mean, I think it's just dead nuts simple to explain what we're doing. Join waitlist. Maybe we just say start talking. What do we think about that? I don't know. Nobody clicks on join beta. Like literally nobody has said join beta. Nobody clicks on claim your corner. Nobody. Very few people are scrolling down. The people who do, look at this. I'm a little bit concerned that some of the new people are just hitting it without looking at this. And that might mean that they don't know about the art style. They're just like feeding their freaking email address in here. I'm really tempted to say, could we change the join waitlist to something else? Because this, look at this. This says be the first to know when we launch. I mean, that's like, it's really not telling people that we're launching soon. So maybe what we could do is we could do tonight, we could do waitlist versus non-waitlist. You know what I mean? Like literally while we were here, 2 people signed up. I love that. So 2 people signed up while we were here, by the way. Let's take a look really quick. What did they do? What did they do? So much data, man. So much data, not enough time. Let's go back to people. I just want to see what these people filled in. Did they know what the hell they were looking at? Were they like, what the hell? Moderator interest, somewhat. General community or social app. Conversations tied to specific places. So we're still like really looking at conversations tied to a place. So we'll say waitlist expectation. And then waitlist, place moderator interest. Save current view. I want to make this the default. And then for right now, I'm only going to filter where email address is set. Can I just save this view? 27 minutes ago. Oh, this person came back. This is crazy. This person came back. Okay. To moderator interest, extreme, somewhat, very, slightly, somewhat, not at all, slightly, somewhat. All right, so I think what we need to do, I think we're going to have to take a stab at, we could do some new imagery. Okay. All right, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to try some new imagery. Baby, we're going to do dark mode and light mode, and we're going to see which one converts better. And what I hate about this is that I like dark mode the best. I like dark mode the best. So I kind of feel like I'm going to be upset, but that's okay. All right, let's just, so what we're going to do now is we're going to grab this hero image. Oh, that, you know what? That is, look at that. That's like freaking, that's not dark mode. Okay. We're going to make a light mode version of this. And I want to see what it looks like. Dude, I'm pumped about this. We're getting some like really good data and we're getting it fairly fast. I'm the most excited about our hyper-local kind of version of this and see if we can just dominate one place. The top design is feeling so dark. Hello? With a light mode version tied to some variable, mostly on the hero image. Now that we know our audience a little bit more of who's clicking on what, you know, now keep in mind, I'm going to show you the ads. Let me show you my ad set, okay? My ad set is fairly dark. Take a look. I would call them dusk. Look at that. We got our nice night. Ugh, look at that guy. Fuck him. So we've got, I'm actually going to edit this just so we, no, cozy ads. So I just want to add where it says evening here. Obviously, we haven't really changed anything. We're just like changing the names. Because I could definitely see us trying to determine if the arc mode got us something better. Environment variable post hog flag. How far should the light treatment extend? Top sections. So we're going to come up with a light mode, and we're going to see if that performs a little bit better and if it juices our conversion ratio. I do like our conversion ratio right now. I am quite happy. 20% conversion is great. So if you kind of do some back of the napkin math, we are currently paying, let's just call it somewhere between $5 and $8. Let's just say $6.50. Okay. $6.50. I'm not as interested in this audience here. So we're looking at $6.50 between these two audiences. Okay. $6.50. If I trim out these audiences right here, that $6.50 is going to go down under $5 without a doubt, maybe even lower. That's $5 per registration. Okay. That's on the ad side. Then if I can juice this another 20 to 30%, we could get that cost to $2. First three. I don't even know why it's recommending it, but binary light hero, multivariate theme tag. Okay. So what's nice is VO is pretty smart when it comes to some of these variables. So we're going to create another experiment. And that experiment is going to be dark and light, but it won't. I don't think it's going to hurt our comment, no comment stuff. We're going to see. Binary post hog light here. While we're here, another person signed up. Flag with the existing dark experience is a safe default. Skip the light treatment to the hero. Brighten the existing hero. All right, using restraint gradients rather than heavy dark overlay. Yep. All right, let's build that. This will be a nice little piece to build before closing up shop today. I think with what we've got right now, I think this is going to be really exciting to launch wide and really start opening up the list. My plan is to email everybody who has decided to be a part of Drivel to go ahead and give them moderation capability. So that means that they'll be able to go into Drivel, use the places feature. And just, if you haven't seen it already, I want to show you just the quickest tour of Drivel. So while some of this is moving, I am going to show you over here what we've got. So this is Drivel. I'm going to show you on mobile view because it's a little bit prettier. So inside of Drivel, clicking over here, you're going to see a feed of all of the conversation and all of the places that are near you. Okay. So you can head here and from there, take a look at absolutely everything that people have posted, right? And so this isn't limited to any particular type of post feed. This is just anything, and it's all of the stuff that's near you. Now, you have the ability to go in and you can claim a place. The way you claim a place is by clicking on claim, and then from here you take a photo, and then in that photo, very easily, let's go ahead and hit downloads. You can go ahead and add, let's see if we have a original picture. You have an original picture? Right, so here's like a pickleball court, all right? Pickleball court, use my current location, fine. We're going to use this one over here, hit next. And then, so it's going to, on mobile, this is actually a much cleaner workflow. But this is pretty nice. We're going to see our Ghibli image. Okay, nice, right? And then we're off to the races. Okay, so now you can create that. That's claimed. We're good to go. Now, let's take a look at what we have done over here. All right, so have we finished up our... Okay, there we go. Now we're finishing. Is this our light mode or no? there's our dark mode. But where is our light mode? Flag is active with a persistent. Okay. Also add a URL switch. I just want to do that to quickly switch between things. Let's see. And then I want to see what light mode looks like, and then we'll spin up an experiment. I kind of like that. Although what I dislike is that we don't have hero. Okay. Let's try that. Hero equals light. So what I like light, but I don't know if you're noticing this. I mean, like, it's too light. So we're going to say not enough contrast on light mode. Also, hero does not need that box behind it. Don't like that. Like this box right here. Like, this is killing our, like, awesome Ghibli looking layout. So let's go to, I want to create that image. So we're going to grab this image really quick. I mean, obviously this looks great on desktop, but we have exactly 0 clicks on desktop. So it's not even worth thinking about. Oh shit. You know what? That's why. My bad. Isn't that a great looking picture? Let's go ahead and go here, go here. That's right. I remember this now. We actually took a look at it before, and it is really vibrant on its own. I'm going to create, though, another one. Let's just do this. So since we've decided to launch exclusively in DC, at least run ads exclusively in DC, I want to go ahead and create an enormous Ghibli-style image that takes in DC. What's nice is very recognizable landscape in DC, right? I mean, you've got monuments, you've got all sorts of stuff like that people can immediately say, oh yeah, I know where that is. So let's hope that we get a little bit of a hook. I had this idea just now. What if we had like imagine almost a globe, not like entirely a globe, but just like this convex portion, and then you have all the monuments on it. And wouldn't that be something that people would like immediately notice? Because what we're fighting with is this here, is that if I'm on mobile, I go here, this is like my entire freaking viewport. Boom, that's it. So we gotta make everything work in that small of an area. All right. So it kind of created DC. I don't know. I'd like to reimagine the landscape of Washington, D.C. with its monuments and river on a convex looking very wide horizon. Now, I don't know how much of this we're even going to be able to see. What if I just got rid of the screen? Because there's this like opaque, what do you call it? Like, yeah, is this it? Is this it? Nope, that's not it. Is this it? Like, where is our... Is that? No. No. What I'm trying to find is I'm trying to find the gradient that goes on top of everything. Just see if we can, like, pull that out for a second. Okay. That looks like shit. I hate that. But we're going to try it. Okay. That looks like dog shit. Like, really, really, really bad. Amazing. Okay, so I made this too wide. Okay. Okay. I really want to get this image done and then spin up an experiment, and then maybe we'll run the experiment tomorrow instead. Yeah, I think we'll run the experiment tomorrow. Yeah, so we just picked up more signups, and it's another 25 to 34. So we're still hitting these two major categories the most. Yeah, okay. That looks a little bit more like civilization, but I don't hate it, right? I mean, that looks pretty sick. Is that bright enough? All right, we're going to futz with this tomorrow. This has been a good stream. Good feedback, too, from some folks. Look forward to chatting with everybody tomorrow.